Hello everybody, my name is Jeff and I'm with Source Audio, and I just want to thank you all for signing in today, and thanks to Gonher for inviting us to talk a little bit about our pedals. So today I just want to give you a grand overview of all it is that we do and give you a sense of how our pedals sound and how you can use them to really enhance your guitar, bass, or keyboard sound. Today I'm going to be working with my friend Paul Candelore. He does repairs. He also does quality control here at Source Audio, and he is an excellent guitar player, so he's going to make our pedals sound very nice. So let's get started. Our pedals come in two primary groups. First, we have our smaller 1 series pedals. These pedals have a single foot switch. They have a simple 4-knob control panel. They have a 3-position toggle switch with 2 banks, so that's a total of 6 presets that you can save within the pedal itself. It also has stereo ins and outs, and it has full MIDI functionality with the addition of the Neuro hub. Now, great examples of the smaller 1 series box is the C4 synth, the Spectrum intelligent filter. We have our EQ2 programmable EQ. We also have our modulation pedals, which include the Gemini Chorus and Lunar Phaser. And then we also have our drive pedals, which include the Aftershock Bass Distortion and the LA Lady Overdrive. Next up is our larger 2-foot switch pedals. These pedals include the Nemesis Delay, the Ventris Dual Reverb, and the Collider Delay plus Reverb. Now these pedals all have 2-foot switches, and they have a center effect selector dial where you can choose between 12 different effects. They've got a 6-knob control panel. You can save up to 8 presets in the pedal. And they do things like tap tempo. There's nice external control. They are also stereo. And they have full MIDI control with a dedicated MIDI in and through jack. Now, 2 of the pedals, the Collider and the Ventris, have dual DSP architecture. That means there are 2 signal processors in the pedal. Now, this not only gives us immense processing power, it also allows you to combine 2 effects simultaneously, which you can run in series or parallel or split them to 2 different outputs. So at the center of all of our pedals are the Neuro Desktop Editor and Neuro Mobile App. So all the pedals work beautifully on their own. You can pull them out of the box, plug them in, just use the controls that are on the face of the pedal, and you can get tons of great sounds, just like a traditional effects pedal. However, if you want to go a little deeper, you can use the Neuro editors. Now, for example, the Ventris Dual Reverb, if you plug that into the Neuro editor, it has a whole collection of additional parameters that you can adjust. There are also additional reverb engines in there that you can use. Now, once you've tweaked your sound and made a preset, you can either burn it directly to the pedal, you can save it to your own personal preset library in the cloud, and you can also publish it so that anybody with a Ventris Dual Reverb can download your preset to their pedal. And vice versa, you can download other people's presets very easily to your pedal. All right, so I just want to quickly show you how to download the Neuro Desktop Editor and the Neuro Mobile App. Let's start with the Neuro Desktop Editor. So you're going to want to go to our website, sourceaudio.net, and it is a free download. So if you just go over here to support, right there, editors and firmware, click on that. Opens our editors and firmware page. Just scroll down. Here are all the Neuro software downloads. You can see you can choose between Windows or Mac. I have a Mac, so I'm just going to click on the Mac download. Ask me where I want to save it. Saving it to downloads. Then I just open that up, and you can see it will take you through all the stages. It's a very simple process. Okay, so my Neuro desktop is opened up. So when you connect it, you're going to use a mini USB cable going from your computer to the USB port on the top of the pedal. You see when I plug a pedal in the right-hand corner up here, the name of the pedal shows up. I've got the Ventris Reverb plugged in. And there are a few things here. This little arrow icon, if there is an update available, this will be framed in yellow. And you just click that and follow the process, and you can update your pedal. This gear icon is where you can access the hardware settings. And if I click the wrench icon, that opens the sound editor, and I can start editing sounds. Now let's move on to mobile. If I go to either Google Play or the App Store, I can search for Source Audio Neuro, and that'll pop up. Just download it. And you are going to take the Neuro cable that comes with the pedal. It is an 1/8 inch TRS to a 1/4 inch TRS, and connect it from the headphone jack. If your phone doesn't have a headphone jack, you can use one of those dongle adapters. So you go from there to input number 2 on the pedal. Turn the volume up all the way on your phone. If you run into any problems, there are some videos on our website that will help you troubleshoot. Once you open your Neuro editor, you can scroll through all the different pedals, whatever pedal you're connected to. Just hit that and it will open up the sound editor and you can start editing. So we really are it's our goal to create just the most massive sound library in the effects pedal world. And we are up to about 6,000 presets at last count. So let's dive into these pedals one at a time and see what they all can do. Let's start with the larger 1 series boxes. I'm going to show you first the Nemesis delay. This is really the pedal that puts Source Audio on the map, with guitar players especially. So half of this pedal are excellent replications of vintage style delays, like the analog delay, which is based on an Electro-Harmonix Memory Man, the tape delay, which is inspired by an Echoplex. There is the noise tape, which is inspired by a Roland Space Echo. Just really meticulously built engines to replicate those sounds perfectly. And then as you move over to the other side of the pedal, you've got the more contemporary sounds. You've got things like pitch shifting delay, which can change the pitch of your repeats to any interval that you choose. There's also something called the Helix, which is an octave up reverse delay, which creates a wonderful angelic sound. So let's dive into a couple of these sounds and give you a sense of what you can do. I'm going to start off with a real bread and butter delay sound. This is the tape delay, which again is inspired by the Echoplex. All right, let's jump into the Ventris Dual Reverb. This is our first pedal with dual DSP architecture. And like I said before, that allows you to combine two different reverbs simultaneously, which is a great feature and is very musical. It's set up similar to the Nemesis, where half the sounds are traditional reverb sounds. For instance, there's a plate reverb in there, a spring reverb. There's some great room sounds. There's also a lexicon hall sound. But then there are also more contemporary sounds, like there is a shimmer reverb in there, a reverse reverb. There's also something called the offspring, which is a sound like I guarantee you have not heard before. So let's just jump in and hear a couple of these sounds. Let's start with a lexicon hall sound. Now let's quickly check out the because it really makes it easier for me to show you just exactly what this pedal is capable of. Okay, so let's open the Neuro editor for the C4 synth. Just hit the gear icon. And you can see I've got a bunch of presets already saved in the pedal. I've got some good ones in here. What else is there? Toothy Twins is cool. Yeah, a lot of good sounds in here. So how about we go over to the cloud and see some of the presets that people have posted. I happen to know, I'm going to filter this so it's just C4 synth presets. I happen to know that somebody just posted a bunch of really cool sounds. So yeah, it's this guy JJT Guitar, and there's this one preset that I really like right here. It's called JW 2 saw sine square octave down fun 2. So not the most memorable name, but it's really a great sound. So just a really nasty sound. So let's quickly go over what some of the tools that are in the C4 Synth Neuro editor. So up top, we've got our master controls, and this is where you find things like your input gain, your overall output volume. You've got some EQing, you've got a wet-dry mix, a lot of useful controls. Then as we move down, we've got our 4 voices, and this is where most of the action happens. This is where we select what type of sound we're using and how they are mixed together. So up here is where you select what type of voice you're using. So he's using all pure synth oscillators. So he's got this saw wave here. You can also use sine wave oscillators or square wave oscillators. You can also use some of the pitch shifting engines, which are not pure synths, but you can certainly get some cool pitch shifting and get some very nice synth-ish sounds, not pure synths, but if you want a pure monophonic synth, you want to select either the saw, sine, or square waves. So he is mixing together 2 saw waves, 1 sine wave down here in voice 3, and down here in voice 4, he's got 1 square wave. So how about we can turn all these voices off and hear what they sound like individually. So this is voice 1. It's just a simple saw wave. Not too powerful, but when I add this second saw wave, which I can see he's got detuned a little bit, so it adds a little bit of wideness. Then down here in voice 3, we've got a sine wave that is actually set 2 octaves down. So this is going to be super low. Some of you may not hear it if your speakers are not great. If I play higher, you can hear it. And then finally, voice 4 is 1 octave down. So that's really going to add the girth. Yeah, very nice preset. Let's hear a few more C4 presets with Paul on guitar. This first one uses polyphonic pitch shifting for a polyphonic synth-like sound. All right, next up is the Spectrum Intelligent Filter, a perfect pedal in my opinion. First off, it's got beautifully accurate recreations of both a Mutron envelope filter and a Love Tone Meatball. Just really sought after envelope filter sounds. They sound great on bass. So it's got that on the surface, very easy to dial in. But of course, in the source audio tradition, there's also tons of other things going on that you can access with the Neuro editor. There is octave down effects, octave up effects. There are over 20 different filters you can choose from, filter types. And there's also LFO options, just very powerful. So let's jump in and hear a few sounds. We're also going to include some clips from our old friend Nathan Navarro using this pedal with the bass. All right, I have in my hands here the Ultrawave multiband processor. There is also a version for the bass. This is absolutely one of our most ambitious pedals, certainly one of the most unique pedals. There's nothing else out there that quite sounds like the Ultrawave. So let me explain the basic concept. So it takes your guitar, bass, or synthesizer signal and splits it up into as many as 10 different frequency bands. You can then control each of those frequency bands individually. That means if you're split into 10 separate frequency bands, you've got a separate drive and level control for each band. You can also do something called multi-band tremolo, which applies a different phase of a tremolo to each of the frequency bands. So you not only get cool tremolo effects, you can also get something that sounds similar to a step sequencer. And there are more than 30 different drive types available in this pedal. You've got everything from modern synthy sounds to real great high gain sounds. There are also great traditional overdrive sounds. And it's got a very powerful and independent compressor control. So it gives you studio level controls of your compression. You can actually use the Ultrawave as just a standalone compressor, and it sounds amazing. So let's just go through a few presets so you can hear just the massive range of tones that you can get out of the Ultrawave. I'm also going to include a few clips from our old friend Nathan Navarro again to show you how it sounds with the bass. Next, I want to talk about our modulation family of pedals. The modulation family includes the Gemini chorus, the lunar phaser, and the Mercury flanger. So let me explain to you how this works. If you buy the lunar phaser, it comes out of the box with 3 great phaser sounds. For example, this has a univibe sound. It has a 4-stage phaser, which is inspired by a phase 90. And it also has an 8-step phaser, which is just a very complex phaser sound. However, if I connect this to the Neuro desktop editor, I can grab sounds that are available in the Gemini chorus and put it right into my lunar phaser. All 3 of these pedals share the same Neuro editing surface. So they are essentially all the same pedal, just with a different paint job. So let's dive in and just hear a few of my favorite modulation sounds from our modulation pedals. And similar to our modulation family of pedals, we've got our overdrive family of pedals. This family includes the Kingmaker Fuzz, LA Lady Overdrive, and Aftershock Bass Distortion. So the Kingmaker Fuzz, for example, comes with 3 great fuzz sounds, but you can go into the library of over 50 different overdrive, fuzz, or distortion sounds and burn any of them directly to this pedal. All of these pedals also have dual gain stages, which you can run in parallel, or you can stack them, or you can run different drive types to different outputs. So let's just go through and hear some of the different overdrive and fuzz sounds that are available for all 3 of these pedals. So this is the EQ2 programmable equalizer. I always describe this pedal as a very simple idea that was just executed perfectly. So it's a 10-band equalizer. It has up to 8 presets available in the pedal by itself. It's also got dedicated MIDI in and through jacks, so you can access up to 128 different presets with MIDI messages. It is a stereo pedal. It's got stereo ins and outs. And there are 2 independent EQ controls. So you can have one EQ curve going out of one output to 1 amp and another completely different set of EQ settings going to another amp. It is a graphic EQ. It is also a parametric EQ. So with a parametric EQ, your frequency bands are not locked to one position. You can move them up and down the frequency spectrum. Each band also has a Q control, so you can adjust how skinny or how wide that frequency is. It's got up to 12 dB of additional output boost, and there is a built-in tuner. It's just a great pedal for all kinds of rigs. All right, so that's it for now. Again, huge thanks to Gonher for inviting us here to talk for a little while about Source Audio effects pedals. We're going to do a quick Q&A right after this video. It's going to be a live stream, so stick around and have some questions ready. We're always happy to talk to people and help them, understand a little better what our pedals can do. So, see you in a bit. Thank you. Goodbye.